And welcome once again to Energy Reiki, lowercase Empress 87. In our last video of the day, till next week, it's about Astrology 101. And we already talked about, if you're new to my channel, um, I talk about astrology, crystals, and the chakras. And also I do a weekly reading, general messages for all of you out there. And this video is about the planets. You can go back to some of my videos if you haven't. And we have talked about the um, the signs and a little bit what astrology is. Um, I'm a beginner, so we learn together. This is what my channel is about. Everything that I learn, we learn it together. So yes, today we're gonna talk about the birth chart and the planets. So the birth chart has two luminaries, which is the sun and the moon, and then it has the regular planets. So we're going to talk about the sun. The sun is ruled by Leo, and pretty much is the center of our lives. That's what the sun represents. It's a lot of light, shine bright light, and it's the most important. Not the only one, but it's the most important luminary of the whole birth chart or astrology. uh, is pretty much our spirit and our personality. Yes, I'm reading it because I haven't really memorized it yet. But so we'll learn together, remember. Uh, and it represents the animating flash of life along with Uranus, you know. The sun signifies who we essentially are. It also the need to express what are we, and it's ruled by the condition of our bodies. It is a return to life, the ability to transform and rise again. And the sun represents the health. So it's how we look in on the outside and how we take care of ourselves. So yeah, pretty much is for personality. And that when when we talk about when people meet us, pretty much what they see first when they first meet us is our rising, which is our first house, and we're going to talk about that later on in the next video, and our sun. The following luminary, and second most important, is the moon, and this one is ruled by Cancer, and me as a reader, uh, Pisces as well, because Pisces and Cancer are two of the most intuitive zodiac signs in the whole astrology book. And it rules the moon card. If we're talking about tarot card, it rules the moon card, and it's pretty much the unconscious, the sensitive, and the inner emotions, and how we respond to the world, and how we behave behind closed doors. Um, so it's pretty much how we are on or inner self or inner child. So when we talk about the inner child, that's pretty much our moon, you know. In a lot of people say that they get scared when they meet your moon because that's like the most cherished part of you that you don't really show just to anyone, because that's the part of you that you want to keep protected. It makes sense because it represents our inner child, right? And also the moon is very receptive. It governs intuition and self-protection. The moon represents what is felt instinctively and what is at the core of our emotions. In the astrological chart, the moon is our soul. It shows the intimate side of who we are, and the moon represents security, the home we grew up in, and the need to hide away and recap our energies. So for those that have a lot of water placements, uh, because you know water with the moon, so the moon is ruled by Cancer, which is already a water sign. If you have a water placement, it's like a lot of water. So it's very important that you recharge your energies and take a step back from the world once in a while, because water moons tend to absorb a lot of energy from the outside and the environments. So yeah, the moon shows how we respond emotionally and what we feel most deeply. It is the female pineapple that is than daily like moistening, yielding. That's zodiac. Yeah, that's what pretty much what the moon is. So the moon can signify our relationship with our mothers as well, and it can represent many things, not just that. It can be like pregnancies and stuff like that. So that's the female luminary, and the sun will be the masculine. And yeah, so let me know what you think about the sun and the moon. And continuing, we are gonna continue with Mercury. Those are our planets, and Mercury is ruled by the mind. And the suns that rule this planet are Virgo and Gemini. And this is the way we communicate with others, and is ruled by the card of the magician on the tarot cards. Mercury is the planet of intelligence and talking, and is the closest planet to the sun, also making it the fastest planet to move throughout the zodiac. That's why it's the planet of the mind. Mercury suggests you must put effort behind your talk. So Mercury goes poetry to the imagination and is connected to everything associated with the mind, quiet wit, uh, mental flights, trickery, inspiration, and also movement, as in moving ahead and also transits. Mercury rules the eyes, brains, nerves, as well the fingers and toes. Mercury is the wisdom and the stupidity found in intelligence when it's not connected to the heart or the feelings. See, so that's what I'm saying. Like, um, it's very important that sometimes we find a balance between our mind and our heart, because if not, we just talk because there's no emotions, there's no sensitivity, nothing. And that's why a lot of people that are and that's what you have to check your placements, what kind of placements you have on your Venus, especially Venus, Mars, and Mercury, because those three are very connected with each other. You know, how we take action, how we receive love, in how we speak. Mercury maximizes the imagination, but can also symbolize the liar when it comes to double talk with mixed meanings. It is the planet of gaslighting, uh, causing purposely confusion in the mind of others to gain something not really deserved. So, yes, um, I don't think there's much to say about that, but this is what Mercury pretty much is, and to check what kind of what zodiac you have in that placement, it will say a lot about how you express yourself and how you communicate with others. So yes, that what Mercury is. Venus, my favorite. Venus, it's I'm a Libra rising, so uh, I love this planet. It's one of my favorites. Why? Because it's the planet of love, and this planet is also ruled by Taurus and Libra. So they share this beautiful planet, and they are ruled by the heart chakra. So Venus is the morning star and the brightest of all the planets, even though this is one of the tiniest ones too. Uh, Ruled by Taurus and Libra, Justice, the Hierophant, and the Empress card on the tarot. Venus is the planet of beauty and balance, and is named after the goddess of love and romance, which is what the planet rules. The equivalent of the Roman goddess Venus was Freya. Amongst the Greek, she was Aphrodite, and the part of the astrological chart Venus rules is where we want the good life, where we desire comfort and ease, sweet and kisses, where we want to see beautiful, be beautiful, and smell beautiful. So that's why when you come across a Libra or Taurus woman, you're rarely gonna see them not smelling good, looking good, because they like to take care of themselves, because they love that, and it comes naturally to this to these signs. So Venus controls the signs of Libra and Taurus, but they have differences, and the difference between us is that Libra Venus works best in the fields of beauty, social balance, and romantic love, while in Taurus Venus stands for create for a create creature. See, I'm so struggling how to pronounce my words. It's a creature of comfort and accumulated fineries. In both signs, Venus is very partner oriented. This is a great need to unite with another when Venus is present. Love, romance, and art are her dominions. Yet, she doesn't get lost in them and lose on her practical side. So, yes, that's what Venus represents, and Venus is more of a feminine planet. So, for those that have like Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Capricorn, water signs in this area, they are the kind of very dreamy, romantic kind of women, kind of men, because of the strong placement of water or earth sign or earth plus Venus is a very feminine energy. So don't feel ashamed if you have a lot of Venus energy in your chart. That's just, you should embrace it because that's where you're more like connected to Mother Nature itself and to the feminine energy. So yes, continuing with Mars. Mars is the fourth, and this planet is ruled by the Emperor card, which is ruled by Aries. Mars is the planet of work. So this is a very masculine planet and a very masculine energy. The red planet, fiery Mars, is named after the god of war and agriculture, the primary military deity among the Romans. All festivals for Mars in ancient Rome were in March, the month that held in the solar time of Aries, the sign that Mars rules. Mars makes us sh- share heart in a way that show heart in a way that other planets don't. One might call him the bully. Why? Because remember, there's always two way energy can present itself. Either it be like very dominant or very submissive. Like I said, don't feel ashamed. But how much of that energy you embody more? Like very dominant energies, if they're not like balance it out well, they can become like bullies. But Mars is by nature a very dominant energy and very dominant planet because it's a lot of fire in there. So yes, that's what they call the bully, and I don't think they said it not wrong, they not bad way. It's just the way that because they want to express it like that. Bully among the planets, but it's the ruler, and Mars is the ruler of sexuality and aggression. It is a lustful planet that drives us, allow us to face the difficulty, challenges in life, and to follow our passions no matter what stands in the way. If we did not have a Mars, we could not know how to fight. So it's hot in here, I'm sorry. But that's very true. I mean, if we didn't have a planet like Mars, there would just not be no balance because I think this planet is what make us like give us the drive to go for after we dream, after we need, after we desire. So yeah, without Mars, I'm totally agree. We will not, like a part of us will be missing. So our next planet is Saturn, and this is the planet of True, and it's ruled by the planet of Capricorn, and it represents the Three of Swords in the tarot card. Saturn is the planet of the Reaper, the Lord of Karma, and this rainbow planet represents what is tangible and solid in our lives. Saturn in astrology is often referred to as the god who ate his own children because the energy of this planet seems to show no mercy. But Saturn is not exactly cruelty, it simply points out what is true and cuts away what is delusional or not longer useful. So, having a lot of Saturn energy or a lot of Capricorn energy will mean that you're very like the go getter type, and you, like, in other words, you don't put up with bull crap. You are very, you can easily see the side for people that are not trustworthy. So that's one of the gifts of having a lot of this planet or a lot of these signs, zodiac signs in your chart. So if you're a Capricorn, embrace it. Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and is ruled by the wheel of fortune in the temperance card, which is ruled by Sagittarius. By far the largest and more magnanimous of all the heavenly bodies in our solar system. Yes, I think that's one of the more, the second besides Venus to me, uh, second beauty planet. That's because it has the rings. So I'm not sure if it's Saturn or Jupiter, but one of those have the rings around them. In the Roman pantheon, Jupiter was referred to as the king of all gods. Because Jupiter is so vast and expensive, this planet is the gate opener for better luck. The earlier Greeks called the planet Jupiter Pantheon, which means the brightest star. Because of Jupiter's immensity, it is one of the easiest planets to see with the naked eye. As the ruler of Sagittarius, the centaur, Jupiter has a dual role of being half human and half beast. So, yeah, what else can I say? I mean, I think that says it all about Jupiter. Whatever planet, I mean, whatever zodiac you have in Jupiter, that's where you're going to find your luck. So, check it out and see what your planet and your zodiac says about you. The planet Jupiter casts off more heat than it takes from the sun. And thusly, this giant planet is one of generosity and joyfulness. And astrology is the great benefactor, the suitor of hurts and bruises, and promises periods of good fortune when work hard, luck is coming your way. Similar to Saturn, Jupiter can represent the father and what you have inherited from your father. So this planet is your connection with your father. So check it out and see what kind of relationship you have with your father, and it will be reflected on your Jupiter. What traits do you inherit from them? Uranus. Uranus is the genius. This is where my physics and inventors comes from. And it's ruled by the star card in Aquarius in the tower on the tarot cards. Uranus, the great awakener, is here to wake you up. Accordingly to myth, out of chaos, emerge two expressions of deities, Gaia, Mother Earth, and Uranus, Father Sky. As the higher octave of Mercury, Uranus arrives to break the rules and smash established structures. It is the planet of not only genius but also intuition, which arrives in sudden flashes just like lightning, seemingly out of nowhere. Uranus is the revolutionary planet, opening up channels to the higher mind and bringing about necessary changes which can no longer be resisted. The great humanitarian Uranus is not really personal and is one that is detached and emotionally because it's an earth sign. Earth signs are more about the mind rather than emotions. But that doesn't mean they don't feel or anything like that because they're very intuitive sign, but they are pretty much guided and ruled by their mind. It symbolizes the one who doesn't really need a partner but is a friend and soulmate to everyone. Those under the influence of Uranus are objective just enough to find reliable insight into other people's motivations. These types tend to be brainy and cool. Such detachment is needed when everything is about to be turned upside down. Another very important element of Uranus it is the link to technological advances in how the future is going to look and be. So we have two more planets to go. It's I have a little surprise for all of you. For some of you that are familiar with the birth chart, you're gonna learn, or if you don't know, we're gonna talk about Charon in the black lily, the black moon or black lily. But continuing, Neptune. Neptune is the planet of sacrifice, and this is represented by the Seven of Cups on the tarot cards, and it's ruled by Pisces. I love Pisces. The energy on Neptune is one of the easiest to see. Where Neptune is placed in a chart is where we are most inspired, but also an area where we deceive ourselves. It is the place of misshapes, bringing or undercurrents of strangeness. I don't see. I can even I can even understand my own writing. For so many, Nectum is the source of many troubles since this energy indicates escapism as well as beauty. Dreams, film, art, disappointments, and all of that falls under the rulership or Nectum. Refusing to look at what's real or simply being unable to see, as well as seeing enemies as friends and vice versa, are all traits brought up by this watery planet. Sometimes with Nectum, there might be a lack of boundaries and confusion where some might orchestrate their victimhood. Nectum is a place of beauty and that which is ethereal and not so easily reached. Nectum is inspired by visions capable with nebulous thinking. So pretty much it's like if you have a lot of Nectum, which is ruled by Pisces, you have a lot of Pisces on your chart, you tend to daydream a lot. Trust me. How do I know? I'm a Pisces moon, and I mean it's like I said before, uh, the moon is ruled by Cancer. So if you put a lot of these energies in a chart, you're gonna have a very not aloof person, but kind of like aloof because they're gonna be more like in their inner world, on their dreaming world, rather than being connected to the three-dimensional world. That's what we live in, and that's why how we call it the physical world. And there's nothing wrong with that, because Pisces are very dreamy people and they need that in order to recharge. As along with Cancers and fellow uh, Scorpios. Uh, so don't feel bad if you have a lot of Pisces energy in you, but just be careful because you are a very empathetic person. Uh, Other people tend to abuse that energy or take advantage of you, and you need to take care. Like learn how to learn how to use your discernment, what's real, what's not, and who is in for your best interest and what people don't want the best interest for you. So you need to be able to learn that. And for Pisces, it's really hard. And Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio is really hard, but mostly for Pisces, they're very sensitive souls, super empathetic, and but be careful because sometimes they can be very not double faced, but they can let their emotions take over and become like overly sensitive or too dramatic. And I mean it's not wrong, but that would be like a negative kind of trait of being a Pisces or having a lot of that Neptune energy. And they tend to sacrifice a lot, getting to the point sometimes that saying that I'm a victim, that I didn't deserve that, and they're like caught up on that victim mentality longer than they should. So and if you have a lot of that, like let's say a Pisces Neptune is double Neptune, double Pisces, and but you can check out what other signs you have on that planet, and then you can see why you kind of like what the way you use like to escape or just to like get out of this world, because a lot of people think and everyone has like their own imagination, but what kind of imagination is it that you have? That's what I'm saying. um Pisces are very artistic, so they can dream about being magicians or because I do that sometimes, and like these beautiful supernatural creatures. And if you have an Aries, maybe you dream to be like a sport car racers, I don't know, something like that. So that's what I'm saying. Look what in how you perceive reality. So that's pretty much what Neptune is telling us. Depending on what sign we have in this planet, that's how we perceive our reality. Last one but not least is Pluto, the planet of transformation, and it's represented by the death card and the Six of Swords on the tarot card, and is ruled by none less than Scorpio. Um, that's one of the most deepest energy of the water signs. In general, I think Scorpio is just the deepest most magnetizing energy of all the zodiac signs. Pluto, the smallest and outermost planet in our solar system, probably carries the most weight. It is the planet of strength, birth, sex, and death of our Pluto themes. Scorpio rules Pluto, the sign of mystery. In Greek legend, Pluto was the god of the underworld. His earlier name, Hades, came up to the sign the dwelling place for the dead. Hades means the unseen, and it's a good description of the energies of Pluto, which tend to transform areas of the astrological chart without us knowing until the explosion or blowout. Transits from Pluto are extremely powerful and bring on significant life changes. Pluto governs renewal and rebirth. It brings to the surface things that have been hidden or are felt deep inside. These are sometimes painful to confront or they're embarrassing or taboo. Pluto can be like a tower collapsing in your life, a life from which you must rebuild from debris and also inspiration. Many things you have relied upon for always being there may suddenly disappear or leave. And Pluto represents endings and new beginnings. And it's also the planet of many deaths and new starts. So pretty much it's like how we confront and end situations. Uh, and later on, as we've been with this type, like later on as we break down the uh the birth chart, I'm gonna start posting what is having each zodiac sign on all the planets. So bear with me because we're gonna get there, and by the end of this series of videos, you're gonna be an expert on reading and doing birth charts, not just for you but for your friends. So if you be so kind, just put a like, subscribe, or share these videos, and let me know if you like it. Um, the next one, so yes, that's what Pluto is, and how you like, let's talk about, like, for example, there's a generation, I think it was those born between 1984 and 1989, or is it till 2004? No, 2000, 2000, 2000 or 2001, somewhere around there. There was a generation, and you're gonna notice that if you're like around on those years, your Pluto and your friends that are born around the same years, the Pluto is on Scorpio. So that's double Scorpio, uh, in double Pluto. So the having this energy is pretty much you're gonna get rid of all taboos. Like everything you think you knew or everything that you think you believe is gonna crumble down. And for those people that are awakening, and I'm not saying like it can be a spiritual awakening or just awakening to who they are truly themselves, they're gonna start learning about new things and embracing new things, and it's gonna be really hard to let go of patterns of belief, because that's what Scorpio is. Scorpio is a very addictive, not easy because it's a fixed sign, so it's not easy to let go, but you have to in order to create a new beginning, which is the real you. And that's what Pluto on Scorpio pretty much is. They they're gonna destroy false foundations in a very dramatic, radical way. So everything that is not, for those that have displacement, for example, they're gonna go through a rebirth, like a the spiritual, energetically dead, and rebirth like the phoenix from the ashes, stronger than ever, but with the true self in with the new amazing, super powerful energy. So yes, that's pretty much what Pluto is like. It's a planet of destruction, and it says it itself. So check what placement you have, and you can Google it, or you can just maybe send me a message, and I can help you out. And there's a lot of people on this channels, on this platform, that I'm sorry, that they do that too. That they can tell you what having certain zodiac represents on your Pluto. So yes. The next one, and this is the last two, they're not, there is not that they're not important, they are, because this is pretty much uh, where you, the parts of you that need healing, in having that sign on that placement means that that's how can you help others succeed. And then we have the black moon, that is more about the dark feminine energy that is a lot so popular on TikTok nowadays. And it's not in a bad way, but it's like what happens pretty much when the feminine energy stays in the shadows for too long. And that will be the black moon of Lily, which is a mystery. The black moon represents soul expansion in cosmological awareness. The force is a luminous in the path of the individual. Black moon is a dark goddess. She is a ghost to the moon. As a shift in power and consciousness, she symbolizes destruction before creation. Lily is the ancient goddess of mystery and transformation. Most of us recognize Lily from the Hebrew myth as the first wife of Adam, as the rebellious first wife who refused to submit to Adam and enraged fled to the Red Sea, an area of mystery and danger. And this is where she mate with demons, according to the Bible. And that's why she was cast down to hell. Lily is is a feminine force of command and strength. She represents the powers we hold in secret. So the black moon can be positive or negative. Remember, if you stay on that energy for too long, you can create a lot of damage and a lot of chaos, because it's a lot of dark energy. And like I said, dark and light, they go hand to hand, but there always has to be a balance. If you learn how to harness this energy and use it for not just for your well-being, but for the well-being of others around you, you can become a very strong person with a lot of inner strength that is gonna not just help you out, but help those around you. So, for example, in my case, I have Leo on my Lilith, and that is a fire sign. So before I started learning about all of this, I used to be very superficial, very materialistic, very egocentric, and very like, I had to have everything that I have has to be like the most expensive of everything. And that is a dark trait of Leo, because Leo are more about looking good, being good, me, along with Aries, because Aries is all the self. And remember, this is all the negative traits. I'm not saying that all Leos are like that out there, but that was my dark but black moon. And now that I came per se to say that I recognize those traits within me and like start working really hard, I'm still, taking care of myself the way I like to, the way I want to, but I had learned how to moderate and using all of that energy, Leo energy, for good things like learning and sharing others, and kind of like not teaching, but a little bit of teaching others that are not very familiar with certain energies, and all of the things that I had learned throughout my whole journey. I had like that Leo energy, like that strength to create new things, not just for me but for others and for my family, for my kids, my husband. So yes, that's kind of like a little simplified way of saying what the blood moon is where your power resides and where your power is, but you need to tap into it and make sure you use it and harness it for good. And of course, I mean, it's a dark energy and it has to be a balance always. The next one, and this is one of my favorites, if not my favorite, the Chiron. And this is and I'm learning about that. I still have not finished the book, but Chiron is the master of healings. And Chiron is a planet, it's not a planet, but a comet. Chiron Greek is the Greek word for, it's my daughter, a mom of thoughts, is the Greek word for mentor. Chiron was the wisest of all creatures, was the wounded healer and self-centered enlightened shaman. He was wounded and he almost died from that wound, but In some books, it says that he begged Zeus to take his life because the pain was super unbearing, so he couldn't deal with it anymore. So he begs Zeus to take his life. So Zeus, out of compassion and because everything that he has done for all the gods and for the humanity in general, he took his life and he turned it into a comet. And that's one story. The other story is that he learned how to heal himself. And Chung has a special purpose as a bridge between the inner and the outer planets, a bridge between the animal and the human, the wisdom that lies in both life forms. Um, and depending on what you have in child, that's what you need to heal it. But yes, this is what I have for you guys today. See you next time and let me know what you think. Bye bye.